The NASCAR Xfinity Series race is officially concluded from Daytona International Speedway, and we see a lot of chaos, a lot of carnage, a lot of wrecks, and a pretty crazy ending with the race ending under caution at Daytona. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Xfinity Series race in Daytona International Speedway, the Wawa 250. We got quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. So right before the green flag dropped in this race, Austin Hill radioed in. He actually technically was supposed to start on the front row, but because he had a radio issue, he would have to go to the tail end because of basically unapproved adjustment due to radio trouble. So at the start of the race, he had Chandler Smith lead the field from the inside with Joe Graf Jr. on the outside, and Chandler Smith and Joe Graf Jr. battled really hard for the lead going down the back straightaway. Trouble would strike already on lap number 1 when Jeff Earnhardt got in the back of Jeremy Clements going in to turn number 3, and a lot of drivers tried to check up. Someone did not use the brakes. Drivers like Austin Hill, Gus Steen, Ryan Ellis, Akron Ogata were all collected in the wreck. There's drivers not using their heads. Lap number 1 of the race, you don't need to be racing like that, over aggressive. Jeff Earnhardt started all that mess, and people were not checking up. It was just a big mistake from all the drivers. Didn't need to be like that. That was completely unnecessary. Then a few laps later under the yellow, after Gus Steen had his car repaired, he tried to go back on the racetrack, and basically his engine blew up, ending his night, not even completing a lap. And then during the caution as well, Sammy Smith, Ryan Sieg, Brendan Poole, and Tim Veens all came down pit road. So then on the restart on lap number 10, you had Chandler Smith lead the field from the inside with Joe Graf Jr. on the outside, and Chandler Smith got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. Austin Hill was able to clear the DVP, but eventually a few laps later on lap number 13, he went to the garage, taking out the early favorite in the race and took him out of contention. So then we saw some really exciting and fantastic racing. You had guys send it 3 wide. You had guys sending it 2 wide, making multiple moves. AJ Allmendinger got the lead. Then you had the Joe Gibbs cars line up in the top 4, and they got the lead. And then a few laps later, Parker Kligerman and AJ Allmendinger, they worked together very well tonight, and Parker shoved AJ Allmendinger up to the race lead. And then eventually a few laps later, Justin Allgaier got a fantastic run, and he got a run on AJ Allmendinger to take the race lead. And coming to the white flag at stage number 1, Justin Allgaier had a hard-charging AJ Allmendinger and other drivers right behind him. It would not matter. As coming off the corner, there was contact between Jeb Burton and Brandon Jones coming down the front straightaway. There wasn't a caution for that, but Justin Allgaier would come off the corner, holding off Chandler Smith to win stage number 1. Then during the caution, Shane Van Gisbergen came down pit road because he had to fix an ill-handling car. His car was completely struggling all night long. We'll talk about that in another video later. So then during the caution, William Honeyman, Matt DiBenedetto, Joey Gase, Kyle Seek, Cesar Baccarel, CJ McLaughlin all stayed out, while the rest leaders came down pit road, and a lot of chaos started happening. Jesse Love spun coming down pit road after some contact from somebody else. Then he had Joe Graf Jr. overshoot his pit box. Ryan Truex drew through, and then he had contact between Riley Herbst and Cole Custer coming off pit road, and this took Cole Custer out of the contention, not only to keep the regular season lead, but took him out of contention in this race. There's a big mistake by both drivers, teammates getting into it, really absolute wild stuff. So then during the caution, drivers like Ryan Truex, Riley Herbst, SVG, William Honeyman, Sammy Smith all came down pit road to top off, and Cole Custer came back down pit road to try to fix the damage. So then on the restart, you had Sam Mayer lead the field from the inside with Sheldon Creed on the outside, and we saw Sheldon Creed get a fantastic restart and was able to try to clear for the lead, but eventually Sam Mayer got a great run and was able to clear for the race lead. But then eventually the outside really started forming, and everyone ran to the outside with AJ Allmendinger being able to clear for the race lead. And then for about 4 or 5 laps, everybody ran the top line. But it all started changing with 10 laps to go in the stage when Justin Allgaier got a great run to the bottom and started forming a really great line to the bottom and was able to jump up there and get up to the front. And then eventually Ryan Truex got a huge push from Justin Allgaier and was able to clear for the lead. And then eventually Justin Allgaier, he got a fantastic run a few laps later, and he was able to clear for the race lead. And then all carnage started happening. On the white flag of stage number 2, Anthony Alfredo hit the outside wall after basically having a flat tire, looked like. Also maybe some contact from Jesse Love. And Sam Mayer spun to the inside, bringing the caution out, meaning that Justin Allgaier would come off the corner and win stage number 2. Just mistakes by multiple drivers, taking him out of contention. So then, guys like Brendan Poole, Matt DiBenedetto, CJ McLaughlin all stayed out for a lap, and then they came down pit road. And then you saw Sam Mayer and Shane Van Gisbergen come back down pit road to basically top off and fix the handling on their cars. So then on the restart, Ryan Truex lead the field from the inside, Riley Herbst on the outside, and Ryan Truex got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. A few laps later, lap number 70, trouble with strike once again when Jesse Love attempted to bump draft Brandon Jones, who looked like he had a flat tire. Brandon Jones was skid across the racetrack, across the field. Shane Van Gisbergen almost got collected in that, but luckily got no damage in that wreck. Brandon Jones spun, bringing out the yellow. Just Brandon had a flat tire. Nothing he could do in that situation. So then during the caution, Cole Custer, Sheldon Creed, SVG, Jeremy Clements, Cesar Baccarello, Parker Retzlaff came down while the rest leader stayed out. So then on the restart, you had Ryan Truex lead the field from the inside with AJ Allmendinger on the outside, and AJ Allmendinger got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. AJ continued to lead the race with drivers trying to make moves, and then with 23 laps to go, the next big one would strike. Sammy Smith got a really bad push by Jeb Burton going down the front straightaway, and a lot of drivers got collected, including Parker Retzlaff, Jesse Love, Brandon Jones, Josh Williams. Matt DiBenedetto hit the inside wall extremely hard. Matt was able to be cleared from the infield care center, luckily. Cole Custer, Sammy Smith, Cesar Baccarello, and Kelsey were all caught up in the incident and wreck. Major mistake by Jeb Burton. Was way too over-aggressive in this race. Got a lot of damage. Completely unnecessary. I just think Burton was being way aggressive. He was complaining about drivers being over-aggressive themselves, and he caused multiple incidents in this race. Just tough break for a lot of drivers involved. This took a lot of guys out of contention by that mistake. So then on the next restart, you had AJ Allmendinger lead the field from the outside with Parker Kligerman on the inside, and AJ Allmendinger got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. And now we're racing to the finish. Ryan Truex got a really great run a few laps later on lap 85, and he was able to take the lead. And then we nearly saw a wreck between Sam Mayer and Shane Van Gisbergen down the back straightaway with 14 laps to go, where they're both able to straighten it up and continue going and only lost a few positions. And then Anthony Alfredo tried to make a really big move trying to get the race lead, but couldn't get it, and AJ Allmendinger got the lead back. And we saw some fantastic and great racing with AJ Allmendinger and Ryan Truex battling side by side for multiple laps, with AJ being able to edge out for the race lead. And then the final big one would strike, and the final caution of the race would end up happening. Anthony Alfredo got really sideways and really loose, but was able to save it. And you saw Jeffrey Earnhardt just completely go ARCA brakes into the corner and spins out up the racetrack, collecting drivers like Cesar Baccarello, Jeremy Clements, Josh Blicky, SVG, of course, and Patrick Emling were all collected in the incident. Jeffrey Earnhardt caused multiple incidents and wrecks, got into Jeremy Clements multiple times throughout the race. I don't know what Jeffrey was doing. He's usually better than that. I don't understand why Jeffrey was racing like that all night long. Just a very avoidable incident. It looked like Anthony might have had a flat tire at that point, but man, just a tough break there for all those guys. Drivers who were having really good nights did not need to get collected in that, and just a big mistake by multiple drivers in that situation. Because of that, NASCAR went ahead and threw the red flag because of fluid on the racetrack, which would last for a little over 12 minutes, but then eventually we went back under yellow. And we get to the final restart with Ryan Truex leading the field from the inside with AJ Allmendinger on the outside, and Ryan Truex got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. Coming to the white flag of the race, Ryan Truex had the lead, and drivers were starting to make moves. You had Parker Kligerman who's trying to make a move to the inside, had a great run, and was trying to get AJ Allmendinger to hook up with him because they worked together really well all night. And then on the white flag lap, Parker Kligerman got into the back of AJ Allmendinger, spinning him out into the track, across the racetrack, hits the outside wall very, very hard, bringing out the caution, meaning that coming out the final corner under the yellow, Ryan Truex comes off the corner and picks up his second win of the 2024 season in his third career NASCAR Xfinity Series win. Congratulations to Ryan Truex. Before that, let's get back to the incident. Parker just made a little bit of mistake. It looked like he really had nowhere to go in that situation. AJ looked like he put up a little block, but he was trying to do what he could to try to go out there and win. I get AJ's probably frustrated after the incident wreck, but you can't really put that all on Parker Kligerman, unfortunately. He was doing a really good job. They both working together. That was not intentional, just a mistake by both guys trying to make a move going for the win. It's just a racing incident, in my honest opinion. But going back to the guy that won the race, Ryan Truex. He's only ran 8 races so far this year. And the Toyotas were really, really strong. I think Ryan had one of the 2 or 3 fastest cars all night long. And it's really good to see Ryan Truex, who doesn't always get the best chance and opportunities and really good equipment, go out there and win. Now people don't need to call him a Dover merchant anymore because it seems like all he could do was win at Dover. But to see him win at Daytona, a track where the Truex family hasn't been great in years at these types of tracks, it's really good to see Ryan go out there and win. I hope Ryan can get a good chance and opportunity to be full-time next year with JGR or some organization next year because Ryan has done a solid job in Xfinity this year. I'm really happy for Ryan. Congratulations to him on getting his second win of the season. He earned, in my opinion, had one of the strongest cars. Congratulations to him on picking up his second win of 2024. So now we'll go ahead and take a look at the race results. I'll give you my score and thoughts on today's race. So Ryan Truex picks up the victory. Chandler Smith finished second. He was part of that last incident, kind of pushed Parker into that, but a really good night for Chandler nonetheless. He's had a solid year, but has also been inconsistent recently. So a really good run for Chandler. Led a ton of laps, had one of the strongest cars early in the race, faded back a bit, but still gets a really strong finish. Good day for him in second place. Parker Kligerman finishes third. I really thought Parker was going to have it tonight. He had a really good car, one of the 2 or 3 strongest cars in this race, in my opinion, and was up front, leading a ton of laps, had a really good run going, still gets the top 5, gets a lot of points back after that 20-point penalty. Still a really great night, but what could have been for Parker, he still ends up finishing in third. Riley Herbst finishes fourth. Despite the contact they had early in the race, he made up a ton of ground and was able to get a really solid top 5 finish. Great run from Riley Herbst in fourth. Ryan Sieg finishes fifth. Bounces back, was having tire issues at points, and recovers to get a top 5 finish. I really thought he was going to have a chance to get it done, so a really good night for him in fifth. He's had a pretty good year. Good night for him in fifth place. Jordan Anderson finishes sixth. Was quiet all night long, ran around 20th most of the night, holding back, not making moves. Near the end, started making his move, survived all the chaos, and gets a top 10. He's been historically really good at Daytona. Really good night for Jordan in sixth place. Going to help that 32 car in the owner's points, especially. Good night for Jordan Anderson. Justin Allgaier finishes 7th. I think Allgaier had one of the strongest cars in the field, but no one seemed to work with him at the end of the race, which is unfortunate, but still a good day for Allgaier in 7th, and I think he will be the new regular season points leader after tonight. Solid run for Justin Allgaier. Sheldon Creed finished 8th, still looking for that first Xfinity win. Wasn't as strong tonight as his other JGR teammates. He did have a good car, but was making some really good moves at the end, but couldn't get up there to get the win. He finishes in 8th. Leo Honeyman finished his 9th. Solid night for him. Ran top 20 most of the evening. Kept his nose clean. Kept his nose out of trouble. And did a really good job tonight. He finishes 9th. And Kyle Weatherman, who had that really bad wreck in Michigan, finishes in the top 10. Great comeback night for him. He was quiet most of the evening, but stayed in position at the end and finishes 10th. Great night for Kyle Weatherman. Josh Williams finished 11th in one of his better runs so far this year. He was up inside the top 5 and top 10 a lot of the evening. Faded back a little bit at the end. He's going to be back with Colleague next year. That was confirmed. Good night for Josh in 11th place. Joe Graf Jr. finished 12th. Had a pretty good night, all things considered. Led a few laps in this race. Ran top 10 early. Faded back a little bit, but gets solid top 15. Got to give credit where credit's due. Solid night for Joe Graf in 12th. Sam Mayer finished 13th, struggled all night long. That car was really all over the place. It was just not a good day overall from qualifying to the race. Not a good night overall. He finishes in 13th. Blaine Perkins finishes 14th. Kyle Seek finishes 15th. Brendan Poole gets a top 20 in 16th. Jeb Burton, after crashing multiple times tonight, he finishes 17th. Patrick Emerling finishes in 18th. CJ McLaughlin finishes 19th. Joey Gase finished 20th. Jesse Love, after I think had a car that could have won tonight, got a ton of damage in one of the big wrecks. He finished 21st. Brandon Jones finished 22nd. Tough night for him. Sammy Smith finished 23rd. AJ Allmendinger, who had one of the strongest cars in this race, finished 24th. I really think AJ had one of the 2 or 3 best cars in this field. Tough night for him. He finished 24th. Shane Van Gisbergen finished 25th. I think Shane had a top 10 car, but was holding back. The car was terrible in the beginning, but they made that car better and was moving forward. Had he not gotten almost involved in that wreck with Sam Mayer, he would have been able to miss that big wreck at the end, which took him out of contention. But Shane was doing a really good job, all things considered. Tough way to end it, but he does end up at least getting a top 25. He'll have an opportunity tomorrow night to go and try to win the race. Anthony Alfredo, after the crash, finished 26th. He had a really good car. Unfortunately, got involved in one of the wrecks. Jeremy Clements finished 27th. Jeffrey Earnhardt finished 28th. Cesar Baccarello finished 29th. Josh Vlicki finished 30th. Austin Hill finished 31st. I think Hill would have had a shot to win this race. He was my pick coming into the race. They just had a bad night all around, but he at least does pick up a few points. He finished 31st. Cole Custer, after crashing out of the event, he finished 32nd. Matt DiBenedetto, after the really big hit, he finished 33rd. Parker Reslap finished 34th. Tim Veens finished 35th. Gustine finished 36th. Man, Gustine, who I think could have been a solid contender tonight, maybe, of course, taking over Haley Dean for this week, he finished in 36th. Ryan Ellis finished 37th, and finishing last in 38th is Akinari Ogata. So now I want to talk about the overall race as a whole. I'll give my score and thoughts on tonight's race. This race was absolutely chaotic. A ton of wrecks, a ton of big crashes, a lot of cars damaged. I think only like 15 cars were not caught up in an incident tonight. It was absolutely wild. When these guys were not wrecking, I think the racing tonight was very, very good. A lot of side-by-side racing. Sure, you had choo-choo racing at points, but I think the bottom was surprisingly very, very good, and I think it made the race a little more interesting. So tonight, my score for the Xfinity race, I'm going to give this race overall an 8 out of 10. It was a solid race. It wasn't a great race by any stretch of imagination, but still pretty good. I'm giving tonight's NASCAR Xfinity Series race overall an 8.2 out of 10. So, that is going to be it for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race review from Daytona International Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go below that and comment your thoughts below on tonight's race. Your thoughts on tonight's race at Daytona? Let me know below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and congratulate Ryan Truex on picking up the victory. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Later tonight on the channel, we'll have the SVG video talking about his performance at Daytona. Tomorrow, we're going to have the starting lineup video for the NASCAR Cup Series race at Daytona. You're also going to see that special announcement video that's potentially coming tomorrow. And you're also, of course, going to see the Cup review and potentially another SVG video dropping. Got a lot of great content dropping that I cannot wait for you guys to check out. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching tonight's episode. And I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.